which are new and out now. What do we have?
Salmon Fishing in the Yemen, which is Lasse Hallström's adaptation of Paul Torday's book via a script by Simon Beaufoy, who, of course, worked with Danny Boyle on The Slumdog Millionaire. As you said, he did nothing after that train.
He's quite busy this year.
He's just been kicking his heels, doing nothing. I mean, now he's doing the Olympics. So the novel... Did you ever read the novel of Salmon Fishing in the Yemen?
Yes, because we reviewed it when I was doing this show. Okay. Monday to Friday on 5 Live.
Fine.
We did.
Well, it's one of the cases in which I have read the novel, because I was reviewing it for News Night Review, so I had read the novel in advance, and I like the novel. The story of the film is Ewan McGregor is a fisheries expert who is enlisted as part of a government policy wonk scheme to assist in an attempt to set up, as the title suggests, salmon fisheries in the Yemen, because somebody with an awful lot of money says, I want this to happen, and the government have decided that therefore it would be a good idea. Ewan is unimpressed.
P45. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Oh, well, a P45 is the official document given to an employee when his services are no longer required by his or her employer.
Yes, but Bernard, this has got my...
Or you can sign this letter stating that you are delighted to assign yourself exclusively to the Yemeni salmon fishing project with immediate effect. It's up to you.
But, Bernard, you know as well as I do, this thing is a bloody joke. I mean, there's no way you can get salmon that far up a...
Just there.
This is blackmail, Sugden. This is a bloody outrage.
Fitzharrison Price will be paying your salary while on secondment, almost double what it is now. I'd say that's a bloody outrage.
Double? Can I have time to think about this?
No.
Can I borrow your pen?
No.
I mean, sorry, it ended it ended slightly earlier than I thought it was. So the story is he's told that
Did you want more quotes from you in saying it's an outrage?
Yeah. So he's saying it's an outrage. So he's told that he has to go and do this, and that's what he has to do. Along comes Emily Blunt, and Emily Blunt plays the assistant who is going to make this happen. She understands that with enough money, anything can be made to happen. He says, no, it can't. Now, she has a boyfriend who very quickly goes missing in action. Ewan, meanwhile, has a wife, and his relationship is clearly going nowhere. So Ewan is in a relationship that, like the old Woody Allen thing, a relationship is like a shark. A shark has got to keep moving, and I think what we've got here is a dead shark. There's something in the water between them. There is a possibility of something spawning. Will they swim against the tide? Will the things be... I'm sorry, I'm all out of fishing analogies, but the fact of the matter is that they do run very, very deep. So you think there is centrally in the film this, you can see the way this is all going.
If you troll deep enough,
exactly, so that they're all there. The problem for me is this. Firstly, I did like the film. I mean, I enjoyed it enough. They're, likeable. I like Ewan McGregor. I like Emily Blunt. So it's a perfectly likeable film. If you've seen the poster looks like this very kind of pastel shaded thing with them two smiling at each other, and then there's all these quotes. Or they've done a thing on an advert recently in which they've got some quotes from journalists saying it's great, and then they've got quotes from "It's absolutely brilliant." Doris, 57. I really, really enjoyed it. Jeffrey, Littlehampton, 48. So, and the thing about the topic is, critics and real people like this film, which is the whole new thing. The big thing at the moment is the unmediated audience response, which is the genuine response thing. And it is a perfectly likable film. The problem with it is that in the novel, and correct me if you think this is not true, in the novel there are two things going on. Firstly, there is a general sort of broad satire about the New Labour project, about the idea that you sell, which is actually not dissimilar to the central thesis of The Ploughman's Lunch, which is that you can sell anything to anybody if you do it with enough money and enough conviction. But there is also something deeper than that in the book, which is to do with faith and belief. It is to do with, if you believe in something hard enough, you can kind of will it into existence. And the whole thing about this, the absurd mission of taking salmon out to the Yemen, putting them in completely artificial rivers in the Yemen, and then hoping that they will do the thing, which is that they will go upstream, that they will spawn, that they will, and despite the fact that these are salmon that have ended up coming from fisheries, so there's nothing in their genetic code that tells them this is what they're going to do. And so the whole thing becomes about the Ewan McGregor character in the film not believing in this, but during the course of the movie coming to an end. And the way that the script's worked as far as the film's concerned, the central interest is the love interest, or the not love interest, or the will they, won't they, or the are they, aren't they, that thing coming together. And whilst that is perfectly fine, it does sidestep the central thing in the book, which is that the book is about fishing, it is about the leap of faith. It is about that thing about willing something into existence, whether rightly or wrongly. You've got Kristen Scott Thomas doing the sort of, the policy wonk role, looking like she's walked off the set of The Thick of It, but with less sweariness. And I just felt that, what you wanted was, a wild roaming sea salmon of a story, and what you actually get is it's like a pickled herring, It's something that feels like it's been like it's been put into a nice jar and contained and nicely put on a shelf with a sell-by date. That's not to say I don't think the book is brilliant. The book certainly isn't a savage, but actually the book at its best had kind of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance moments to it, in which they're talking about the technicalities of fishing and fisheries and salmon and all the rest of it, but actually they're talking about something else. They're talking about something which is to do with the leap of faith. In fact, I sent the book to a very good friend of mine, Paul Simpson, who is a very fine salmon fisherman, and said, "Tell me from a fishing point of view, what do you think?" And he went, "It's all right."
So would you say it's a John West film?
Well, because John West reject.
That's right. That
make John West salmon the best. Other brands are available.
I don't remember their ads though.
Yes, it is. It's tinned tuna, as opposed to a tuna steak on a nice salad niçoise.
Dr. Paul, who's in Derby, Paul Birch, says he was waiting for your salmon fishing in the Yemen review. He's going to see it tomorrow at the wonderful Quad Cinema in Derby. Famous patron Paddy Considine, the aforementioned. But in the great tradition, says Dr. Paul, of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I bet it's not about salmon fishing.
No, well, absolutely. He's quite right. It isn't about salmon fishing. Although that didn't stop me from sending the book to Paul to say, Paul, as far as the salmon fishing is concerned, how does it hold up?
But again, the central...
Yes, it's not about salmon fishing.
Is that, but if you don't have the salmon fishing, you're not going to get to those other points.
Yeah, no, exactly. And in the same way as if you don't have the motorcycles, you won't get the Zen. In the case of that book, there's a lot of motorcycling before you get to the Zen.
Is there a lot of salmon fishing before you get
to the Yemen? You actually get to the Yemen quite early
Very
on.
quickly.
But so it is. That's what it is. And it felt to me, to a lesser extent, that thing which happened with, We Bought a Zoo, is that you feel there is a story behind there, but it's kind of... But in the case of... So what you actually have here is a rom-com with a fishing background, as opposed to a discussion of the nature of faith with a fishing background. But perfectly likeable. Don't get me wrong. Perfectly likeable.
John Green in Basingstoke on an email. I went to see salmon fishing in the Yemen this morning in order to shelter from the rain, and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally go for such formulaic bourgeois twaddle, but it was actually very well done, and Emily Blunt was particularly good. I must be getting old, says John. There we go.
Yeah, well, there we go. That is